Today, I will show you a basic tutorial of JavaScript. You'll need a text editor, so I recommend using Notepad++. If you notice at the top of my code, there is a link, but this is just a basic web page for HTML to post our JavaScript codes in. The HTML tag declares a web page to be written in HTML. The head tag delimits the page's head, and the body delimits the page's body. Pretty simple. The script tag alerts the browser the JavaScript code that follows. To post inside the body, type document.write with the statement, "This is the beginner example." Since we know the job of the script tag, we can place a comment using 2 slashes. By replicating lines 10 and 12, this allows older computers to see the HTML code. After running the program, we see this in the browser as a result. In this next segment, I will be teaching you how to create buttons. By using the input tag and having the type as button and the value as click here, we will essentially have a button that says click here once we run the program. In this next segment, I will be teaching you how to create pop-ups. Similar to the previous program, we want a button that will be able to have a pop-up, so create an input tag with the button as a type and the value for click here and an on-click alert saying ouch. By running the program, we see a similar result as the previous code, except once we click it, there's a pop-up saying ouch. In this next segment, I will teach you how to create website links for JavaScript. For this code, we use an A tag to create a hyperlink from one page to another, and following it, we have href with the link. We can also create a name for the link, which in this case will be hover over me. Once we run it, the website link name will show up, but once we click it, the current website will link us to the new website. In this segment, I will be teaching you how to change text color. For this code, I am only using one color, but at the top of the code, there are 2. On the top is a hex number, and at the bottom is an RGB value. Then I have a variable for the result and a for loop changing each letter into the color that I want. Once we run it, this is displayed as a result. In this next segment, I will be teaching you how to use the date object. At the beginning of the code, we have script type equals text/JavaScript because not only do we have text, but we also use the JavaScript object. Within the function print_time, the variable now equals to a new date object. The variable hours equals to the now's hours. The variable mins equals to the now's minutes. Variable seconds equals to the now seconds. It's important to remember that JavaScript runs on military time, so when 1 in the morning is 1 p.m. is actually 13 in military time. Document.write displays the hours, minutes, and seconds. Since time changes constantly, we will set the interval until 1000. This is displayed once we run the program. In this segment, I will be teaching you how to use if statements. Similar to the previous program, we have text/JavaScript as a type because not only do we have the text, but we also use JavaScript statements. Then we have an if statement saying that if the hours is less than 11, then the document will write good morning. First, we create a new variable now to represent the date object and variable hours to represent the current hour. If the now's hours is less than 12, the document will write good morning. And in the else statement, the document will write good afternoon. In this segment, I will be teaching you how to use math.random. Similar to the pop-up program, the input type will be button, the value will be click here for a random number, and the on-click will be an alert or a pop-up of a random math number between 0 and 1. Once we run the program, the button will be displayed, and once we click it, the JavaScript alert will show a random math number. In this segment, I will be teaching you how to use arrays. Similar to the previous programs, for a script type, we have text/JavaScript, then a variable named array to represent our array holding 2 values. The for loop starts at 0 and ends at 1 so that the user can input for each value. Once the user inputs values, the document will write hello, array 0, and array 1. Once we run it, the browser will then ask the user to input something into the array. For this example, I inputted Gucci. Once we click OK, the browser will prompt the screen and ask us to add something else to the array. For this input example, I put main. As a result, the document writes hello, array 0, and array 1, which is hello Gucci main. For this segment, I will be teaching you how to use switch. The beginning of the code starts with script type equals text/JavaScript and the variable girl equals to Irisha. The switch statement contains two cases and one default. Since the variable girl name is Irisha, the program switches each case until it reaches Irisha, which is document.write was Gucci, and then break. This same concept applies to any other case with different names, but if the program does not have a case for the variable, then it switches to default. Since our new variable girl name is Van Halen and there isn't a case that contains that name, then we switch to default, which is document.write, your name is unfamiliar. In this next segment, I will be teaching you how to use onMouseOut. The code begins with an A tag and an href link to the newboston.com. By having the onMouseOut statement and the alert, where you going punk, and don't hover over me, it basically states that once the mouse passes the don't hover over me button, an alert will pop up saying, where you going punk?